Yes.
When you hear the word, the emperor without a crown, what comes to your mind? That was the research question I used to engage my audience. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
While I engaged my audience, I was able to ask them the research question, and I engaged a total of 10 respondents. And these respondents shared their thoughts on my research question. I used the qualitative research pattern to be able to conduct my research, come up with the speech which I'm presenting right now. So on the 10 respondents, I was able to categorize them into two different behaviors. The first behavior was the power thirsty and the power hungry people. And the second behavior were the service-oriented people. Now, on the power thirsty and hungry people, there were a total of 70% of the total number of 10 respondents that fall into that category. And then the remaining 30% fall under the service-oriented people. The power thirsty, when I asked them my research question, at first there was silence. And they responded to my question with a question and said, why would an emperor not have a crown? In their anger, which I sensed, they went ahead to say that any emperor who does not have a crown is not fit to be a leader or is either too weak. Well, I had to put myself in their shoes. And I believe that to an extent, I feel they are correct. Because actually, an emperor should have a crown. And then move on to the second behavior, the service-oriented people. When I asked them my research question, at first they were excited. And then they took their time to expose my mind to the conscious, the subconscious, the spiritual, and the physical implication of service towards attaining power. This particular category, this category of people are more concerned about being able to sustain power when you eventually get power. And they believe that through service, you will be able to acquire the necessary skills that you need to sustain power. Well, I also put myself in their shoes, and I feel that they are also correct. Power is something I believe that majority of us here would love to have. For me, I would like to be very powerful and highly influential. But I'd like to bring our attention to the fact that power should not only be limited to those in governance. Power, modern day power, is even more evident in our own lives, relationships and marriages. Today, a lot of marriages have become a mirage because somebody has a power that he has not equipped himself to be able to so
Sorry, I lost Toastmaster Ebube. Is it just me?
No, it's not just you. Same here.
I think they are aware at physical meeting, so they said they are trying to reconnect.
Okay, thank you. I still can't hear him. Oh. Can you guys hear him?
Not at all.
I think he's muted.
Oh my goodness.
Just work with what you have.
Avi?
Mr. Karim, are you there?
I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm here.
Is it done? Okay.
All right. Even though I couldn't hear all of the speech, for the most part I heard, it was sounded like a very powerful speech. So thank you very much for that. I'll just move. Please, can you confirm? Okay. Well, I hope everybody can hear me. So I'll just move on to introduce the next speaker for today, who is TM Ruth Apuka. TM Ruth is a supply chain professional in the FMCG industry. She loves helping people achieve their greatest potential. She's currently serving as the VP at Seaside Toastmasters Club. Our favorite quote is becoming is better than being. Okay, by Carol Dweck. Hobbies include reading, traveling, and meeting new people. Evaluating her is Toastmaster Fikunayomi Aluku. Toastmaster Fikunayomi is the head innovation and investment unit PLC and founder of Growth Asset. He is a growth catalyst, transformational speaker, author, and innovation technology consultant. He is a technology leader with about a decade of experience in program management, startup ecosystem development, digital transformation, cybersecurity, and software engineering. Impressive. Well, I'm going to hand over now to TM Fikunayomi, right, to introduce TM's Ruth Apuka's speech. The title of the speech, by the way, is "The People That Have Made Me," and I'm looking forward to hearing the speech. Over to you, TM Fikunayomi. Thank you.
So I'll be evaluating TM Ruth today. She's speaking from the presentation Mastery Pathway Series, Project 3, Level 2. The speech objective is to give clear understanding to members on how Toastmaster build mentorship and mentoring strategy. Also to share from our personal experience on mentorship and mentoring and experience from how people also can leverage that. I'm always interested and passionate to hear Ruth speak. She's very passionate, and the energy in her voice is always very captivating. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ruth to the lecture.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Can you guys confirm virtually if you can hear me? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Okay. I first heard about the word Toastmasters year 2013. I was a master's student, and during one of our class sessions, my lecturer called my name, Ruth. What do you think about this topic? Ladies and gentlemen, I walked up to the stage and forgot what I wanted to say. I just said some rubbish and quickly ran to my chair. But that was the day I knew that I had a problem. Because this was not the first time. I had a series of situations where I was asked to come and give presentation, and once I just get on the stage, I forget everything. So that day I was desperate, and I went to go and ask Mr. Google, how do I overcome the fear of public speaking? And Google led me to Toastmasters. So I searched around, I searched the internet for the closest Toastmasters to my house. Luckily for me, there was one. So I was so excited, and I went there the very first day. I went for the meeting, it was energetic, it was nice. I was like, oh my God, I found it. But when I went there the second time, they said, we are sorry, madam, but this meeting is actually a closed club. We allowed you the first time because we wanted to experience what Toastmasters was about, but we can't join this time around. I was pissed. I was like, so why did you allow me to have a taste of the pudding? And you allow me to eat the pudding at the end of the day? So I went home angry and forgot about Toastmasters for it. In 2014, I heard about Toastmasters again. This time around, it was from a colleague. So he came to the office that day, gave a presentation. It was so fantastic that I had to ask the guy, how you take do am? For those who don't know PG, how did you do it? And he told me, I'm a member of Toastmasters Club. I was like, oh, please, Toastmasters again. But I knew that this was a pinch point for me. So I wanted to join Toastmasters Club. So I told him that, guy, when is your next meeting? I'm going to join you. He was like, of course, why not? And I joined him. That guy held my hand for the next 10 set of meetings, because every day he goes for the Toastmasters meeting, carry me along just so that I can have the experience of Toastmasters. His name was Toastmaster Emmanuel Father Musi. He was the one that introduced me to Seaside, and I've never looked back. However, life happened. In 2015, I was transferred out of Lagos. I went to Port Harcourt, and I changed jobs. So basically, my routine changed. I couldn't keep up. But the feeling I had in Seaside Toastmasters Club never left me. So, as luck would have it, in 2019, I was transferred back to Lagos. Rather, I made a career switch, which worked out for me, and I was now based in Lagos. This time around, I told myself, Ruth, you must make sure that you become an active member of Toastmasters Club. Not just any club, it must be Seaside Toastmasters Club. Something I didn't say earlier on was that the first time I came to Seaside Toastmasters Club, the way they welcomed me, oh boy, I was like, I found my place. Anyways, on to the next part. As is expected in Toastmasters, when you join Toastmasters, they assign you to a mentor. And of course, they assign me to a mentor. My mentor was now Toastmaster John Onumia. There's this word there's this definition that Oprah gave to a mentor. It's someone, she defines the mentor as someone that helps you see the hope that you cannot see in yourself. If you know Toastmaster John, you can testify that Toastmaster John always sees the hope in you that you cannot see in yourself. So he had given, when I had my meeting with him, he told me my strengths and my weaknesses. Of course, he had told me my strengths. I didn't know what my strengths were. But the weakness, the one I can never forget, when he told me, so basically, whenever I come on a stage, I speak fast on a normal day. Then imagine when I'm there, I speak 4 faster. So when I come on the stage, I just want to say what I'm saying and run away from the next thing. He told me, Ruth, calm down. And he gave me a practical tip. He said, when you get home tonight, I know you love reading, so when you get home tonight, carry one of those books that you love to read so much. But instead of reading it in your mind, read it out loud. And when you're reading it out loud, pace yourself. Don't rush it. Read it. The brown fox jumped quickly over the lazy dog. Something like that. And boy, oh boy, that was a game changer for me. However, the beauty about Toastmasters is not just the fact that you get to get an official mentor, you also get to get a lot of unofficial mentors. There are so many I've met in my journey here, but I'll just mention two because they have been quite pivotal to my life. The first one was Toastmaster Francis Mukolu. Anytime I play a role, I usually try and chat him up and ask him, that, what do you think? What do you think I can do better? And there was this day, I asked him, I had just played the general evaluator role. So I called him trying to get feedback, and he told me that if you want to play a role very well, you need to practice. You can't just go on that day and just be the general evaluator. You have to go and research, practice as much as 20 times if you can. Like, I'm going to be the general evaluator today. I'll do good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am a general evaluator today. I should keep practicing and saying it at least 20 times. That's a lot of times. But I wanted to get better. I was desperate. I did it. The second unofficial mentor I had was actually the person that evaluated me today, Toastmaster Fiko Ayomi Aluko. So I don't know how he happened. We had a conversation one other day randomly, and he told me that he set up a Zoom meeting and told me to come on the Zoom meeting. I had a work presentation. Practically, he told me to share my presentation. He corrected my presentation. He gave me tips of how to make it pleasant to the eye, how to get your points across without putting too much words on the slide. He sent me websites where you can go to get images that will make your presentation wow and pop. And I asked him for a Toastmasters advice, but I ended up coming out with a career advice. What am I trying to say? If you throw yourself fully into the Toastmasters program, your life will thank you for it. And that's why I would like to encourage us here. Don't only take advantage of your official mentor, also take advantage of those that you see that have skills that you want to copy as well and transfer it to your own life. Because if you do, you'll definitely start speaking as good as I speak right now. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for that speech, TM Ruth. Before I go on, can you hear me? I'm a little worried.
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so before I proceed, I want to apologize. I had introduced TM Ruth as the VP. TM Ruth is the president of Seaside Toastmasters. Apologies for that. And as usual, our speech was very amazing. Like, I wasn't expecting anything less. Every time I've joined Toastmasters and listened to TM Ruth speak, it's always an amazing speech. And I took some takeaways from that, right? I also speak very fast, so I'm going to use that little tip that you shared with us. I'm going to read a book to myself, read out loud. So thank you for sharing all of the tips. And I'll also probably follow up with her later to get that link for the presentations, so that I'll make my presentations pop. All right, thank you so much, TM Ruth, for that speech. It was amazing. And I say on behalf of Ruth and then myself, who I know that I can reach out to a lot of Toastmasters and they're always willing to help. I can attest to what she said in the speech. Yeah, so thank you to everybody that has offered their mentorships, right, to us for free. All right, so I'll move on quickly now to the next speech for the day that will be given by TM Komiyo. TM Komiyo is a medical doctor with a driven passion for personal and professional development. She loves to dance. She likes to meet new people as well as eating good food. We seem to have a lot in common, TM Komiyo. All right, evaluating now is TM Francis. TM Francis is an experienced accountant, a Triple Crown Toastmasters award winner, an ACB and ALB holder. He loves to wear a smile so the world can smile back at him. Interesting. When he's not balancing accounts, he loves to listen to alternative rock music and watch Arsenal Football Club. I will hand over now to TM Francis to introduce the speech that will be given by TM Komiyo. Over to you, TM Francis.
Thank you immensely, our amiable Toastmaster of the day. So I have the privilege to evaluate our Vice President Education. So she does not need any form of afflatus. She is self-motivated. So she'll be doing the second project today. She'll be delivering a social speech. And please, we are all dressed for the occasion. So let's all assume we are at an O1 bed, a social event. So Toastmaster Komiyo with trade laws. So what is the objective of Toastmaster Komiyo's speech? So she is expected to practice the skill, the acts, without any form of afflatus. She needs to do it internally. To practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. So the speech can either be a toast, can be an acceptance speech, it can be a speech to honor an individual or an organization, or it can be a speech as well for at a funeral, which we generally call a eulogy. So Toastmaster Komiyo, I'll be looking out for clarity, I'll be looking out for vocal variety, your eye contact, your gesture, your audience awareness, your comfort level, your interest, and the topic in itself. Toastmaster Komiyo, like I mentioned, ab initio, no form of afflatus, you are self-motivated. Take it away, Toastmaster of the day.
So, Toastmaster of the day, can I start?
Toastmaster Komiyo, I think proceed.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, TM Francis. Good day, executive members of the Christian Medical and Dental Association, CMDA, and everyone present. I am pleased and humbled to receive this award of service, and I'm particularly honored to have joined past leaders who have been recipients of this award. I feel nostalgic, pleasantly nostalgic, to be here and connecting once again with the people and vision of this great association. You all know back then in school how I loved to act. I still love to act, and how oftentimes I've been teased and called drama queen. Unfortunately, serving as the drama coordinator, I didn't have the chance to act so many dramas, but I felt fulfilled seeing my members display and manifest their gifts and talents. I must confess, their gift and their talent felt like a calling and an afflatus. I consider this department the best department in CMD. Apologies to other departments. These people, despite the medical didactic schedule in medical school, they met every week to rehearse and display a level of sacrifice such that they presented rich and quality drama presentations to the association. I thank you all. You all made service worthwhile. Another set of people I want to thank are the committee members of the annual drama night. These people worked tirelessly to make drama night a success and the limelight of the tenure, such that our lecturers and school authorities looked forward to this program. Nothing, absolutely nothing beats your dedication. To round this up, I would like to end with the word of Harry Truman, America's 33rd president. He said, and I quote, It is amazing what you can achieve, or it is amazing how far you can go to do what you want to do when nobody gets the credit for it. Toastmasters and guests, these people, drama department members, they have been steadfast, unflinching. They have given themselves tirelessly, and they've been the absolute best. A reward intangible indeed. This is for you, for your sacrifice, for your dedication, for working as though nobody deserved the credit. Thank you so much. This is for you. The Toastmaster.
Amazing speech, Kumiyo. So I just noticed that we've not been clapping. I mentioned at the beginning that we should try and give some virtual claps for those people that are not. So I made this clap with Kumiyo, and apologies for every other person because I didn't mention it. But please just go ahead and do that. Thank you so much. On the chat, for those of us that are joining virtually, you can send a virtual clap. All right, thank you, and give comments. Let's encourage people as we move on to the table topics as well. Let's try to do that. Thank you very much. So we've come to the end of our prepared speeches. We're going to vote now for the best speech. I think there should be, so for the physical meeting, we're passing on a paper for people to vote, and for the virtual meeting, something should pop on your screen. So please vote for your favorite speech for today so that the best speakers win. All right. Who's handling that for the virtual meeting, please? Okay, so the poll is up. Please vote for your favorite speech for today and also for your favorite evaluator when that comes up. For now, prepared speeches, please vote for your favorite speaker. Okay, please vote if you haven't. I think we have only about a minute to do that, and time is ticking, so we can move on to table topics. Okay, so I believe everybody has voted now. Are we done for the virtual meeting and for the physical meeting? We'll proceed on to evaluations.
Yes, we are done.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to hand over now to the general evaluator to proceed with evaluations of the 3 prepared speeches that happened today. Over to you, general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Toastmaster of the day, for that wonderful coordination of the speech segment. And thanks to all the speakers today. I've learned a lot from all the speeches.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Wonderful speeches, starting with TM Ube, an emperor without a crown. I hope you get a crown someday. Toastmaster Ruth Apuka, the people that have made Toastmaster Kumiyo a reward intangible. But now we're moving on to the evaluation segment of the speeches. And starting the evaluation for today will be Toastmaster Olushi Ingeren. She will be evaluating the speech. Okay. Okay, first we're going to have to confirm if all the speakers kept to time. And so I'll be going back to the timer for today, Toastmaster John Onumiya, to give us a report on the time for the speeches.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. All the speakers were struck with afflators and they all kept to time. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Toastmaster John. Now I'm about to introduce Toastmaster Olushi Ingeren, but since he has been introduced before by the Toastmaster of the day, I don't think an excessive introduction will be necessary. So Toastmaster Olushi Ingeren, kindly come over to the virtual lectern to give the evaluation for Toastmaster Ibube's speech.
Okay, thank you so much, the General Evaluator. Power should not be limited to only those in governance. It is more evident in our lives, relationships, and marriages. Well done, well done, well done, Toastmaster Ebube, for this wonderful speech. It shows that you actually researched on your speech. Even though I missed a huge part of it, I would say, like, since we're talking about research and statistics, maybe a whooping 80% of your speech I missed, but I will work with what I have. I commend you for carrying out a research. Now, how did I know that you actually carried out a research? You told us that you researched using 10 respondents. Those were the statistics you gave us. You also used the qualitative pattern of research for your research. You identified two behaviors, that's the power testy and the service oriented. The power testy being 70% of your 10 respondents, and the service oriented being 30% of your 10 respondents. I commend you for this. This shows that you actually did your research. Well, because I didn't hear you, I think you were muted. Most of us didn't hear. I also confirmed with others. I had to just watch you talk. It was like you were whispering. I didn't hear anything. But I noticed that you used hand gestures, even though you also clapped your hand at some point. You used good hand gestures. You also, your eye contact was good. You were aware that some people were online and you focused on the camera in front of you. That showed us, that told me that you were actually putting us in mind when you were giving your speech. Now, what would I want you to improve upon? Just like I said, you clasped your hands a lot. You should watch out for that. You should also add vocal variety. You know, take your voice up at some point, bring it down, you know, just show us that variety in your voice, which I know you have. I commend you so much for this speech. You gave us a statistics, numbers, which is the objective of your speech. I'm happy to say that you met the objectives of today's speech. Congratulations to you, and over to you, the General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Olushi. Thank you for the wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Olushi. Now to the next evaluation of Toastmaster Ruth's speech. We would have Toastmaster Fikunayomi Aluko.
Toastmaster and guests, I want you to give Toastmaster Ruth a standing applause. That was absolutely a show. I love the storytelling and the passion, the energy was palpable. And you used the hand gesture very well and your body language, people can really feel the energy. And like I said earlier, you have a passion and it's contagious, right? And another thing I love about your speech is the progression. You shared about the first mentor and how it connects to the second. That was great. So it's easy for people be listening to you to follow you. More importantly, is the way you engage the audience. That was fantastic. I really love it. And the experience was practical. The purpose of the speech is not for you to give us content from a textbook. We really want to hear from you, and you did that excellently well. But more importantly, I think there was a part that I would love you to do on subsequent speeches, and that's the use of pace. You were here practically for a long time. Eventually, towards the end, moved. You could have just used the space so that people can just connect the message. And there's that actually helps people to follow you more. I think that's psychological level actually. And then your transition. We're speaking so fast. So to an extent, you merged, there was a kind of collision. So I could not really know when you from one point to another, except for once. So if you space out your transition, more pauses, make it easy for people to. And at the time, we were tapping the content, so that distracted. Lastly, you shared one solid takeaway point, which was great. While thinking if you can just share 3 key takeaways. So it helped people to extract, okay, what was the purpose of all this story? So you shared one solid one, but 3 could have been more helpful to help people to really take, these are the action, these are things I want to do after this speech. But it was just an amazing show and a fantastic speech. Congratulations, and I can't wait to just see your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the very useful evaluation, Toastmaster Mayomi. Now to the next evaluation of Toastmaster Kubio would have our veteran Toastmaster Francis Mokolo.
Thank you greatly, our general evaluator for today's meeting. What an acceptance speech. So edifying, so lifting, so reaching. Thank you, Toastmaster Komiyo Eruwa. Please, she deserves an applause. Thank you. You were very clear. You were lucid. We could follow you. Your choice of words were easy to follow and extremely simple. Well done. You mentioned the name of the organization. As I said, one of the objectives is to receive an award from an organization. You didn't leave us thinking it was from an aflatu somewhere. You mentioned the name of the organization, and we could relate since that is your field. You were calm and composed. I was in charge. I received this award, so I own the stage. Thank you once again. The topic was interesting, and we could all relate and follow. What a remarkable quote to end with. When you end with quotes, you will leave your audience with something to go home and ponder on. Thank you, Toastmaster Komiyu. Areas of improvement. You heard the award all through the speech. I felt at inception, fine, good to be with 2 carriers to hold and romance the award. After some while, you drop the award, deliver your speech, and grab your coveted award. But you held it all through. I think as well that you would have stood to showcase your award, to show the authority of the individual that has earned the award, personally and without any form of afflatus. I feel as well that you can be more emotional. You were not very emotional, so we actually did not connect more. So you would have been more emotional. You use pauses, but it can be better to connect more with your audience. As well, I did not get the stage, the scenario of your speech, the audience scenario. Was it a Toastmasters gathering? Was it a medical association event that you were giving this award? Because you mentioned fellow Toastmasters later in the speech. That aside, great speech, Toastmaster, for me. A reward, an award so intangible. Someday, I hope to get mine. Thank you, Toastmaster Komi, the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Francis, for that wonderful evaluation. It felt as though you were struck by poetic applause. Okay, now, all the evaluations have been perfect. They have been wonderful and very useful. Now we're gonna move on to the next stage where we choose the best evaluation for today's meeting. And we're gonna be choosing out of the 3 evaluators that we had on the stage. But first, I'm gonna have to go back to the timer to have a brief report on if all the evaluators kept to time. Toastmaster John.
Mr. General Evaluator, all the evaluators can be voted for because they kept to time. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Toastmaster John, I couldn't hear you the first time. Could you please take the report again?
I said all the evaluators kept to time, so they can all be voted for. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
I don't know why they can't hear you, but I heard you.
Mr. General Evaluator, we can't hear you at the moment. I think you're muted.
We're muted. Can you take it again? Just say it.
Since I was muted the first time, now is the time for me to hand over the control of the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aisha Karim, so we can stay with the tabletop session of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TM Ibrahim, and thank you to all the evaluators. So it's time for the table topic session. And what's interesting about this part is that both guests and Toastmasters can participate. And I always like the impromptu speeches. They're always very interesting. So I look forward to the speeches that will be hearing today. I'll hand over now to the, wait a minute. I'll hand over now to the table topics master, who is TM Komiyo. I had introduced her earlier. So TM Komiyo, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Such a wonderful time to be in Toastmasters today. Thank you for your coordination. Table topic segment is that time. Please, am I sure we cannot all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Okay, table topics segment is that time where we give impromptu speeches. And as you all know, I gave a prepared speech, and that was because I took my time, I went to do my research, and I was able to give that, to a very large extent, calm, as my evaluator has said. But there will be times that you do not have time. In fact, you didn't probably think about what to say. You need to give a. So yes, I'll be sharing my screen now. And because our team is let's talk about KOB, King of Boys. All right, thank you. I'll only select three speakers, please. So maybe somebody from the physical meeting, please kindly let me know who wants to volunteer. And those online, please, you can comment on the chat in the chat room. This is King of Boys. I'm not sure how many people have seen King of Boys.
Hello, I can't hear Toastmaster Comio. Is it only me?
I can't hear her either. Okay, she's connecting again.
Kicked out. I felt kicked out. Please, can you hear me? Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. May laburu not happen to us. Thank you so much. Yes. Can we see our screen, please?
Yes, we can.
That's what I'm sharing. Thank you so much. So any volunteers? I'll pick a Toastmaster first to do this. Then our next Toastmaster Ruth is volunteering. Okay. Toastmaster Ruth, are you there? We just want a Toastmaster first, then the next two will be guests. All right, so Toastmaster Ruth, as you can see on the screen, there are 5 characters from the King of Boys movie. Please, can you choose one? And the one you are choosing, you will talk about this character. What about this character did you like? Probably in his delivery or in our delivery. What about this character that you'll be choosing did you like most? You have 2 minutes, Toastmaster Ruth. Over to you.
All right, so as you can see, there are 5 people in the picture that was shared. The person that is quite significant in the image, that's the woman that was wearing a black turban in front. That's the character I would like to talk about. Her name is Eniola Salami. She's actually the English word as Fiona, but she's like the main actor of the movie, right? So the movie is actually centered around her life. So Eniola grew up in an abusive home, an abusive family, and because of that, she ran away from home. So her dad used to beat her mom when she was quite young. So she ran away from home and unfortunately found herself in a hotel. So she, at a very young age, as young as I think 8 or 9, started prostituting. So do you know what that can do to your psyche as a child? Like your mates should be in school, playing with their peers, having fun, but she was a prostitute. And what I like about her was that even though she came in from a very, very horrible background, she rose up from the ashes practically. She rose up from her hard life and became, though she didn't become a good person, so in a way, it's kind of hard to say you admire her because her character was not necessarily a good character. She was not moral, but that's not the point of this discussion. The point of the discussion was that she rose up from the ashes and became the head of a mafia kind of situation in Nigeria. So she was so powerful that she actually put the president of the country in his seat because she was a mafia lord, more like she had like all the Akpero boys were under her. Akpero in almost all the 36 states of Nigeria were under her. So she used that force, that power to put people in high positions. And once she has decided that you're going to be her next target, oh boy, I'm sorry, it's over for you because they will hunt you down till they get you. So I like the fact that she grew up, she came out of the ashes practically and created herself. Over to you, back to you, Toastmaster. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, TM. I completely agree with you. Eniola Salami portrayed something that many people suffer from, but she didn't stay there. She didn't stay down. She rose up. Thank you so much. So any volunteer, I think they're okay. Any volunteer? Let me check online. I can see Miriam Adeshola, okay. Miriam Adeshola, okay, are you there?
I'm here. I can
Oh,
hear you.
fantastic. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
splendid. I'll be sharing my screen now. So, I don't know if you have seen the movie. Hello?
No, I haven't.
That's all.
That's all. No.
You need to see it. You need to see it. Anyway, so
Okay.
that I cannot lose you. Not at all.
Okay.
So, I will be asking you a question instead.
Okay.
About it. So what do you think? I mean, something about King of Boys, something portrayed to me from the movie is loyalty. What do you think about loyalty? Is there a fault to it? Is there a virtue that should be? Is there a virtue that you like, or is there a point that loyalty should not be sought after? Over to you, Miriam Adeshola. Okay. You have
Thank
2
you very
minutes.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 minutes. I believe that loyalty is the essence of any relationship. Like if you cannot trust your friend or your partner or anybody you're in contact with, if you don't trust them, then I don't see the point in the relationship. Please, can you hear me?
Absolutely,
Yes,
I can hear you.
Okay, and also I feel like loyalty is something that is rare these days. It's hard for you to come across a loyal friend. But notwithstanding, that does not mean you should give up on friendship. It is something that when you find it, you hold on to it. Don't let it go. That is all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adeshola, okay, for trying. I must say you did well. I don't know if you are a Toastmaster or you are a guest.
I just joined.
Oh, you just joined Toastmaster?
Yeah, so I'm in the process of my registration. I just paid this week, yeah.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah.
You just joined and you are talking like this. This is, I mean, who knows how you would be in the next 1 month or 3 months. Thank you so much for volunteering. We need one more volunteer. I see a Johnson. Mr. Johnson or Miss Johnson or Mrs. Johnson, please. Okay. Any volunteer, please. Physical. Any person at the physical meeting. Seasiders, please. Yes, somebody should be there. I can see many people seated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sploofic. Fantabulous. Thank you. Can we see your face?
Not much King of Boys. Good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, you've not watched King of Boys?
Yeah, not at all.
Oh, really? You need it's a must watch for it to be on Netflix. Nigeria series, you know, it's something you should watch. So, all right, I would just ask you a question about it instead. So, the movie King of Boys, I mean, there's a mix of many things. There's a mix of loyalty, politics, of trust. Let me ask you, how do you see politics and do you just think, because after I saw the movie, I did not think I don't want to say what I think, but do you think politics is just politics, or there are other things that make politics or that bring our leaders to the limelight? Do you just think it's the votings? I mean, the normal things that we think, or there are other things that push up politics? Thank you. You have 2 minutes. I don't know if you understand the question. You're on mute. Sorry, you're on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I believe I'll take it 2 ways. First of all, with politics and getting into position in power in the economy, I believe that the people do have a part to play, because end of the day, what people visually see and how they are filled with affiliates, for example, is a major part in in them voting for the person they end up voting into power. So I think that yes, politics can be quite clear. However, when we look at different countries, I believe different factors have a part to play depending on the country you're in. So if you then come to a local environment, then you can then look at a factor of maybe, you can look at the fact that there could be effects of corruption, or people strategically placing some adverts or other means of communication in the face of people to ensure that the person they want gets in the right position. You also see places where money is being transferred to different accounts to, buy people's votes. And I think this then impacts the transparency and clarity of voting to politics. In summary, I believe that politics can be clear. I believe that, people can have the voice and the choice to choose the person they want. However, I believe in some countries, there are other factors like corruption that can then influence it and corrupt the whole process. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. I didn't get your name. Apologies, but I'm sure the Toastmaster of the day, or the table topics evaluator there would get your name. Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate your view on that. And you are not far from the truth. Corruption is close to poly. In fact, they are brothers and sisters in Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time. Please, lastly, kindly, all of us, those that have not watched KOB, King of Boys, please go and watch King of Boys, please. It's a very interesting movie, and it will give you different perspective to how politics to how politics run in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, CM Komio. Okay, those were like some very interesting speeches. So we're gonna move on now to evaluate to the table topics evaluator, so we can evaluate those speeches. And I must say, I was very impressed, very interesting. Even for those that have not seen the movie, they had like some interesting perspective. And like TM Komio said, please, if you've not seen it, go and watch it. I recommend. Okay, all right. I will hand over now to TM Francis Mukolo, who is going to be the table topics evaluator. First, let me introduce TM Francis. TM Francis.
I heard you.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm about to introduce TM Francis. I don't think I've done that earlier. TM Francis is an experienced accountant. Oh, have I? Okay. He's an experienced accountant, a Triple Crown Toastmasters award winner, an ACB and ALB holder. He loves to wear a smile. Oh yeah, I've introduced him before, so the welcome smile back at him. When he's not balancing accounts, he loves to listen to alternative rock music and watch Arsenal football. All right, TM Francis, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you once again. I don't know if we are loggerheads. My audience, Toastmaster Francis was mentioned, and you all kept your hands to yourself. Hope I did not offend anyone of you. If I offend you, I apologize. Thank you for the applause. Please, I think we did not vote. I would like to see one of the fantastic table topic speaker come up to the lectern to receive an award. So our Zoom master, please do the honors. We
Mr.
have
Table Topics Evaluator.
Master Ruth, we have guest Miriam and guest Temisan, or Misan, M-I-S-A-N. Okay, thank you for helping me.
Table Topics Evaluator, I need to give my report.
Okay, the poll is up. Vote for your preferred table topic speaker. They all did remarkably well.
Toastmaster Francis.
The choice is yours to make in the end.
Toastmaster
So while
Francis.
we do that, because time is fast spent, I will plunge immediately to the evaluation. So first, to take up the challenge, before that, great pattern for table topics. We talked about a movie, unlike the regular pattern of table topics where we speak on different topics. In this case, we were particular, we were clear. We wanted to talk about King of Boss. If I had known, I would have done my research. If I had known that that was the thing for today's meeting. So our president came up to the lectern. She did well. She had poise, she had courage, she had composure as well. So for those of us that could not even see the image, she took her time to describe the character. Great job, Madam President. And she told us the name of, she made her preference in the end, Eniola Salami. And she used the second person to describe the story behind Eniola Salami. Some areas of improvement. At first, Madam President was like this. I don't know whether we are doing a pageant or you stood akimbo at a point. So you can work on that. And you mentioned Abiru boys, you can translate that. So some of us that stay in the Korea and do not understand Abiru boys, boy can relate with you. Well done, Madam President. At the end, you reinforced your message, which every speaker should learn to do. Speak on, go on. At the end, bring us all together and hit the nail on the head. Well done. So the second speaker, I'm not seeing the movie. I'm happy the table topics master was able to tweak the question to your advantage, and you used it remarkably. You were asked to speak on loyalty as a virtue. You went straight on into the loyalty is seeking truth, you can sing with your friends, families, and so on. Alternatively, you can prolong your speech. You had between 1 to 2 minutes to speak. There are several things to say on loyalty. You can tell us what loyalty is not, to explain what loyalty is. You can use a story. You had a lot of pauses are divine. The earth will now open up and swallow you when you pause, to learn to pause. Our third speaker, guest Misan, great job, forcefully brought up to the lectern when she grabbed the invite in the end. I've seen the case, a guest was about to be forced and she ran like. So he obeyed the clarion call and you came out. Thank you, guest Misa. You link politics to the people, talked about transparency, corruption, and I think at the point you were slanted, so you should watch your positioning as a speaker. From the point you are called to the point you are elected, everything counts for you as a speaker. Wonderful. She used the word of the day. Please, let's applaud the speaker. So to do this time, well done. In summary, like I said, you reinforced your message, which we should all try to do as great speakers that we are. So we all did well as the table topics master and the table topics speakers as well. Great job, everyone. I would say we all did not require any form of afflatus. We did it intentionally, and it came all from within. Please, let's applaud all role players. Thank you all. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Team Francis. Thank you very much. All right, so I will hand over. It's time to hand over now to the general evaluator to evaluate this meeting, and of course, he will introduce the other evaluators for the day. So I'll quickly hand over now to Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim. Over to you, TM Ibrahim.
Tip topic session, and thank you very much to Toastmaster of the day for handing over the control. Now is the time for the evaluation segment. Everything we've done from the start of the meeting up to this moment is evaluated. And to commence the evaluation, I would have to start with the counter, Toastmaster Elijah Felix. Are you ready, sir?
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Filler words are like potholes on the highway to athletes in our journey as Toastmasters. Today's section, we all did our best, but some of us, or most of us, had these potholes. I'm going to, well, so I just did a summary of everything. Potholes like you know, so, and indiscriminate pauses. So I did a summary of everything. I'm just going to list them in numbers. So Toastmaster Ajani, General Evaluator, we had just 3. And then Joel Ebubemodi had 9. President Ruth, she had 12. Toastmaster of the day, Aishat Karim, she had 17. Wow. Elijah Felix had 2. Plus 2 extra. That's 4. Okay, TM John. Well, I did not notice anyone. Perhaps because, you know, the mooting and everything. So he got lucky. The grammarian, Malik, had 2. Olichin Gerem had 2. TM Aluko had 3. TM Kumiyo, 7. TM Francis, 4. Our guest, Miriam Adeshola, she had 2. And then our wonderful guest, Misan, had 4. So will I draw a conclusion that the more you spend time speaking, the more likely you are able to use filler words. So maybe some folk will say your brain is running, your mouth is running faster than your brain. But I know we'll keep doing better. Thank you very much. General.
Thank you very much, the counter of the day, for that brutal and precise counter report. Now to the next report, we'll be going to the timer of the day, Toastmaster John Onomiya.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. I would like to commend us. Every person kept to time except our soon-to-be youngest Toastmaster Mariam Adeshola Oke, who was struck by such profound afflatus that she spoke for less than the required amount of time. She spoke for 53 seconds when she was to speak for a minimum of 1 minute. I'll encourage us to be cognizant of how we use time, especially when we're working with others, such as in a Toastmasters meeting. Transitioning is very important. Let's not spend too much time transitioning when we start late, because the way you use time is going to impact other people. Over to you, the General Evaluator.
Timer's report. Now to the next report, I'll be going to the grammarian, Toastmaster Pa Malik Ba.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ajani. Good afternoon again. I'll be giving the grammarian report. So the word of the day is afflatus. Afflatus. So Toastmaster Ajani used it twice. Toastmaster Francis, I lost track of how many times he used it. Toastmaster Kumio used it once. Toastmaster Ashiat used it once. And I would like to say that the only two persons that use the word of the day correctly by pronouncing it and using it in the correct context are guest Misan, who used it once, and Toastmaster John Onumia, who used it 3 times. Please, let's give a round of applause to those who use the word of the day. Some observation on the usage of the word of the day. The word of the day is a noun, afflatus, not an adjective, not a verb, right? Some used it in the context of a verb, some used it as an adjective. Some pronounce it as afflatus, some say affluatus. The correct pronunciation is afflatus. Thank you very much, the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pamalik, for that. I'm not going to try to say afflatus. But thank you for that report. Now is the time for the general evaluation of the meeting that will be delivered by yours truly. I'm going to start with the starting time for the meeting. The meeting started at exactly 19 minutes past 1, which is like 19 minutes later than we intended to start. I think we still need to work on the integration of the hybrid and the physical meeting. And that's something I feel like we could improve upon in the future. The speeches were perfect. We had Toastmaster talking about an emperor without crown. A speech talking about the balance of power and the interplay of power in different aspects of life. We had Toastmaster Ruth Apuka talking about the people that made her. She mentioned Toastmaster Emmanuel, Toastmaster John, Toastmaster Mayomi, Toastmaster Francis, and many others. And we had Toastmaster Komiyo Eua talking about a reward intangible, an acceptance speech for an award she got for being a drama organizer. But one thing I noticed, and one thing the people on the online meeting platform complained about, was the fact that at a point during the speech of Toastmaster Ibube, there was a disconnection of the network. I know how discouraging that can be for Toastmaster Ibube, so don't worry about Toastmaster Ibube, it happens. I was once given a speech when my phone overheated and I was cut off. That can be very terrible. Regarding the evaluation that we have for today's speeches, we had very quality evaluations, and I myself was able to get so many important points and learn from them. Regarding the Toastmaster of the day, she was very fluent and she was very smooth, and I want to say thank you to her. Regarding the table topics, given that the theme of the meeting had to flow with the table topics topic, I think a lot of people were disenfranchised from participating in table talk session because not a lot of us have actually watched The King of Boys. And also, this is the table topics master. The image that was presented to be talked about was a bit too dark and of low quality. And so many of us neutrals could hardly figure out who was in the picture. And regarding the word of the day was afflatus, or is it afflatus? I'm still struggling to pronounce it. Yeah, and I think maybe that's one thing we need to work on. Maybe we shouldn't take a word of the day that is too extreme. Well, maybe it's an opportunity for us to learn as well also. Yeah, I'm still undecided on that. But also regarding the recording of votes, I feel like the recording of votes for the online meeting was smooth, but regarding the recording of votes for physical meeting, it could be better. We need to find a very better format for recording the vote for physical meeting. The theme of the day was lively. It was let's talk about King of Boys. My plan was to watch King of Boys after Money Heist, but now that it's done, I'm going to go ahead and watch King of Boys in preparation for our next meeting. And today, I actually enjoyed the meeting. We talked about power, we talked about loyalty, we talked about drama party, and we laughed a lot. And I would like to say thank you very much to everybody who has participated in today's meeting. And now at this moment, I'm going to hand over control of the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aishat Karim.
you so much, Mr. Ibrahim. Very interesting. Thank you so much. All right. Well, today's meeting was very interesting. I'm sure everybody had fun. The speeches were on point. I had a lot of fun. And of course, I mean, the theme was King of Voice. I didn't expect it to be any less. So thank you to everybody who spoke, everybody who contributed in one way or the other. It's been a very interesting meeting. I will hand over now to the to Madam President to take to close the meeting. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Please, everybody, give a virtual and a physical round of applause for Toastmaster Aisha Karim. For those that are not running the background affairs of the system, you will not understand. As of yesterday, we didn't have a Toastmaster of the day, and today, Toastmaster Aisha Karim actually become a Toastmaster. So please give her a round of applause. Please. Yes. The next time when we ask her to become the Toastmaster of the day, she will say yes. And please, I know for a lot of people, they feel I have to be perfect by the Toastmaster of the day, but that's not the case, right? Even if you don't feel like you are there yet, you just coming out to play that role will actually make you discover things about yourself that you didn't have. So just try, just push yourself. Please, when the DPE begs you to become our Toastmaster of the day, please don't say no. Please say yes. That being said, we move on quickly to the announcement of the award. So first of all, I want to make a public apology to Toastmaster Ebubemodi. I think it wasn't fair that a huge portion of the speech was not heard at all. And I sincerely apologize for that, Toastmaster Ebubemodi. And for me, I feel at this point, I actually had a discussion with him outside of this meeting, and I feel like we shouldn't proceed with the best speaker for today because it was not a fair ground, right? So we didn't hear a huge portion of the speech. So it's not fair that we voted on the other two speakers without him, even though his name was also voted on. I don't know if you get my point. I feel it's not fair that we actually have to so for today, there's no best speaker. All right. Having said that, however, I'm going to have the best evaluator of today and the best table for today. Drum roll, please. So, for the best evaluator for today, please drum roll now. All right, so our best evaluator for today was none other than Toastmaster Francis. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam President. Like Toastmaster Komio, let me show my award.
No, I think Toastmaster Francis, we need to start banning you from this award. You're always taking it down. You have Toastmaster John. It's not fair. All right. Also, for our best table topic speaker for today, drum roll, please. Guest Temi-san. First of all, when I asked you to come and give this table topics, you didn't want to. Well, now you see, you want guest table topics for today. Congratulations.
Yeah. Let me bring Seaside.
Oh, okay. All right, on to the announcements. Next week is our speech contest. I don't know what's happening to Seaside. I remember a time when we used to ask people to come and do the contest. You will see like 15 people lining up to come and give the contest speech. But this year, it has been so hard to find people that want to contest. Please, contest. I'm begging you now. There's money involved, though. There's money involved. Please contest. Please, I'm begging you guys. So we'll be waiting for the people that want to contest VP and our VPs too as well. They are waiting for you guys to come and pen your name down so that you can contest in the next speech contest, which is going to be next week. However, I think we are having a little bit of difficulties in how it's going to be done. Do we want to do a fully virtual speech contest, or do we want to do a full physical speech contest? Because it will be, I don't know, for me, I feel it will be kind of weird if we have people physically here giving speeches, and we now have people virtually giving speeches. I feel like it's not a fair playing ground. Anyways, we'll discuss this outside of today's meeting and let everybody know how it's going to be done. So we are also having a debate. So the district is actually having a debate. District or division, sorry. They're having a debate at the end of the month, and we need somebody to represent Seaside Toastmasters Club. I'm already eyeing you, Thierry Brian. I'm eyeing you, Thierry Brian. You have to represent us in the division. Eh? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, ever defending Brian. Thank you very much for that. Also, we have also come to another payment cycle year. We actually have a lot of people dues will be expiring by the end of September. So if you know, I'm talking to myself as well. If you know you have not yet renewed your due, please reach out to TM Bar and let him know that you want to renew your dues. The good news is that you don't have to pay the full year. You can pay half the year. We understand what is happening in Nigeria. We're here to support you. We still want you to grow. So if you don't want to pay the full year, it's okay. You can pay 6 months. Then the next 6 months, you also pay the next 6 months. So just reach out to him and discuss that with him. Also, first of all, I just realized that here in Seaside, we are too serious. Most people have not watched King of Boys. Please, what have you been doing on social media, please? Because this thing was everywhere. I didn't want to watch it, but when I saw that, the way Netflix was bombarding me with the advert, I was too curious. I went to go and watch it. So I'm just surprised that a big chunk of the people here have not watched it. And I know I feel like people are very serious. Please.
I will try to watch it before the next.
Have fun. Please watch it. Encourage the Nigerian film industry. Please encourage them so that they can do better. Please. If you've not seen it, I really want you to please watch it. And trust me, you enjoy it. And if you don't, you can come and beat me in my house. All right. Then also, lastly, we want to introduce a form of an award. So we notice that a lot of us, we are not giving speeches, we are not playing roles, and we don't like that. So we want to encourage you. So I and the VPE team, we had a discussion, and we decided that we're going to create an award for the person that gives the highest speech in the year 2021, 2022. Person is going to get a cash prize. So if you know you have not been playing roles, the same thing goes.
I want a car.
Going forward for 2021, 2022, if you play as many roles as possible, and it is confirmed. Trust me, we are recording everything. We have an agenda that has your name. So we are going to check if the person that plays the highest number of roles in the year 2021, 2022 is also going to get the cash prize as well. Fantastic. So if you know you want money by the end of June 2022, please, from today onward, please play your roles and give your speeches. That aside, you can, if you play your roles and you give speeches, definitely. So it's not about even the money benefits that you get, also about the self-improvement value that you have. Anybody that knows me when I joined Seaside Toastmasters can testify that when I used to talk the first time I came here, my voice used to shake. When I come here, I used to be like, and it didn't happen overnight. Yes. I applied myself to it. My mentor, I'm going to go back to my mentor. Please enjoy. I'm going to go back to my mentor because he kept on telling me that you need to play more roles, play roles. If you keep playing roles, you actually develop your confidence. And also, the beauty about Toastmasters is not just the fact that you're a member of the Seaside Toastmasters Club. You can go to any Toastmasters worldwide, America, India, Pakistan, Australia. As long as you have paid your dues here at Seaside, you can go for any meeting and play roles. So why do you want to limit yourself to play roles only in Nigeria or only in Seaside? Go to Eagles Toastmasters Club, go to Lighthouse Club, pick up roles, play them, give speeches as well there. Because when you give speeches, they will evaluate you in a different way from the way Seaside people would evaluate you. So I'm encouraging you guys, please play roles and give speeches. Please. Your speaking skills will actually thank you for it. So I don't know, I think that's the end of all the announcements for today. Therefore, by the power vested in me, I call this meeting to a close. Enjoy the rest of your day.